In some of my previous videos, I've spoken about why 2012, 2013, and 2014 are some of the best years for LEGO Star Wars ever, with so many amazing sets, builds, and minifigures from all the different aspects of Star Wars. But in this video, I want to take a look at the other end of the spectrum, and take a look at what I believe to be one of the worst years for LEGO Star Wars ever, that being 2020. Anyway, let's start with the three microfighter sets that we got, being the Resistance Y-Wing, Kylo Ren's shuttle, and the T-16 Skyhopper vs Bantha 2-pack. These are actually not bad if I'm being honest. These Zori Bliss and Kylo Ren minifigures were great to get in such cheap sets, and are both just really nice, highly detailed minifigures, even if Kylo Ren is missing his cape. The T-16 vs Bantha is a bit of an odd choice for a microfighter 2-pack, but at least it's not the 100th Millennium Falcon or X-Wing or TIE Fighter. We then got two battle packs for the year, which both kind of miss the mark for me. First is the Sith Trooper battle pack, which surprisingly only includes one Sith Trooper. Of course, LEGO threw the old Sith officer in there as well, like they usually would do. But I don't think we really needed the two Sith Jet Troopers. The build is actually quite decent in this one, but I think everyone would have preferred this set had it come with at least 3, if not all 4 minifigures being Sith Troopers. The other battle pack that we got was the Mandalorian battle pack, and this one does come with some really amazing minifigures. You get 4 unique Mandalorians, 2 of which have cloth capes, the others have helmet accessories, which is all great to get in such a small set. But again, you can't really army build with this set. The figures are all so special and so unique that they're actually a bit too unique. And if you've seen the Mandalorian TV show, especially season 3, you would see that all of the Mandalorians are really different and have different markings and coloration on their outfits, as they're sort of the last Mandalorians left in the galaxy. The builds are also pretty lame here. There's nothing much to go off of, just a speeder and then like a pile of rocks. Overall, it is a good set to just get one of, so you have each of the minifigures, but I don't really see any purpose in getting another one. Next up, we have the 4 Plus Snow Speeder. There's nothing to say about this set, it's pretty mid. The Duel on Mustafar is a set that I really looked highly upon when it came out and I picked it up, but looking back at it, it just looks really blocky and bland. The minifigures are perfect, getting like a burnt up Anakin and Obi-Wan Kenobi are great, but the actual design of Mustafar looks like something a kid would build from some leftover red and black bricks. The Falling Pillar is a nicely designed element, but everything else just feels like a really dumbed down 5 Plus set. I think this set would be so much better as a diorama. It doesn't need to be a big $100 set, maybe bump the price up to like 40 or 50 and give us a really nice, highly detailed diorama of this incredible scene from Star Wars. The next 2 sets kind of come as a pair. These are set 75270, Obi-Wan's Hut, and set 75271, Luke's Landspeeder. What I do like about these sets is that if you buy both of them, you have a really nice group of builds and minifigures, and it kind of gives you everything you'd need from the first half of A New Hope. However, both of these sets are just really boring to me. Starting with Obi-Wan's Hut, it is nice to finally get a set dedicated to it, but it honestly does just look like another attachment to the Mos Eisley Cantina. The figures are okay in this one, but $30 for only 200 pieces does feel a bit steep, as well as when you consider the actual size of the hut when you fold everything in as well. You then have Luke's Landspeeder, which again feels quite steep for $30, but not as bad as the hut. But this Landspeeder does honestly look like a downgrade from the previous version. I just personally don't like the stickered design for the front grille, and I much prefer the older tubing system that we had, which just looks a lot more realistic and more Lego-like to me, rather than just a big sticker. The poncho for Luke is probably the best part about this set, and I wish we got a poncho for Cal Kestis in the upcoming Star Destroyer. Now for the Rise of Skywalker, we have the Sith Dorito Fighter. This is not a bad set personally, but I think for $80 it's crazy. Only 3 figures also makes this one a harder pill to swallow for that price point. The Knight of Ren figure and Finn both do look really nice, but I don't think anyone can justify this set for an $80 price. The design of the ship is quite sleek. I do love the sort of red lining around the wings, but the stand that you have to put it on just looks kind of ugly. And then again, the ship is really oversized when you compare it to something like an X-Wing. Going up against this set, we have set 75273, and speaking of X-Wings, this is Poe Dameron's X-Wing Fighter, which is actually the third variation of this ship in just 5 years, and it comes in again with a brand new color scheme. I think this is definitely one of the best sets from this year. Looking at the price, it's a much better set than the Dorito Fighter, and for just $10 more, you're getting an extra 300 pieces and an extra minifigure. I think Janna looks really great here with that awesome molded hairpiece, and you also get another Knight of Ren. The color scheme I think also works really well here. The light azure blue contrasts really nicely against the bright orange and the white, and I love that they actually kept that orange color scheme from the original Poe's X-Wing in 2015. Just as we're about halfway through the list now, if you are enjoying this video, please feel free to leave a like and subscribe. It really helps out a brand new channel on our way to 2,000 subscribers. Now we have the introduction of the Helmet series, a series that is seemingly discontinued as we didn't get any new sets this year. But anyway, for 2020, we got a TIE Fighter pilot, a Stormtrooper, and Boba Fett. I think all of these actually look really nice and are by far some of the best sets from the year, even if they are very, very stud heavy on the outside. But then again, LEGO loves their sets to still have that LEGO DNA. I think this kind of contributes to why the TIE pilot looks so good. I think he has the least visible studs compared to both Boba and the Stormtrooper. Surprisingly, both the TIE Fighter pilot and the Stormtrooper have more than tripled in value since their retirement, with only just a year and a half on shelves, with the Boba Fett helmet continuing for an extra year, therefore making him not worth quite as much as the other two, even if he is more of an iconic character. That probably explains why LEGO decided to keep him on shelves for an extra year. Overall, I think these are all three just really nice sets and a great start to the helmet line. The UCS set for this year was an A-Wing, which I think is a decent set, but it's just not one that I see being remembered or really highly praised maybe 10 years into the future. I do love getting a $200 UCS set, as it does seem like so many other LEGO Star Wars sets are spiraling out of control into the hundreds and hundreds of dollars these days. This isn't a bad UCS set by any means, it's just not an amazing, incredible, and really memorable one either. Next we have Dio, the goofy kind of droid character that was from The Rise of Skywalker. He got a buildable set this year, and I don't really think that many people care about this. He was a cute enough character in the film. I loved the little stuttery voice that he had. Hello. But he's not as cool or memorable as something like BB-8 or R2-D2. Again, I think this buildable character is good enough. It looks good enough, just nothing special. And I think it was a little bit overpriced at $70. The advent calendar is up next, and I think this was actually a pretty nice one. You got a Christmas Poe Dameron and Darth Vader, which are really nice, even if we did have a Christmas Darth Vader just a few years ago. The Sith Trooper inclusion I thought was really nice, but other than that, there's not really any other minifigures that are too special here. Now we get to probably the best set from the year, and this is of course the 501st Battle Pack. This is such a classic set now in Star Wars history, and I think it's one that's really redefined the future of LEGO Star Wars heading into the 2020 era. This is a great set with 4 awesome clone minifigures, and yes, I would have preferred a regular sized battle pack, but at least they did make up for the $30 price point by including a really sizable speeder and then a really awesome AT-RT build as well. We then have Anakin's Jedi Interceptor, which is a good new rendition of the ship from Revenge of the Sith. The Anakin figure is really nice with the headset print. I always love it when they give them to the characters, but otherwise, just not a lot to say here. It's just a solid remake of a set that fits well at the $30 price point. We now have the AAT, which is based on season 7 of the Clone Wars, and at the time this was my most anticipated set of the year purely because of the amazing Ahsoka figure. And I still stand by that, to be honest. The Ahsoka figure looks so good. It was so great to get an updated one like 7 years since the previous one. But looking back at the rest of the set, there isn't really anything crazy going on. $40 as well does feel quite steep. I think $30 would have been good. The 2 droids are cool to get for some variation to your regular battle droids, as well as getting the 332nd clone. That was awesome. But yeah, I think it's just a pretty basic set that you're only really going to pick up for those 2 minifigures. Now we have the Knights of Ren transport ship. And I think the low rating on Brickset gives you a pretty good indicator that this is just not a good set. For the positives, it does come with 2 Knights of Ren, which are nice to get, but other than that, the rest of the set is just pretty terrible. The fact that you can't even put all of the Knights of Ren in their shuttle or their transport ship is just kind of ridiculous to me. And then if you turn this model upside down and look at the underside, it's like just completely laughable. It's just a massive facade with no depth to it whatsoever. It looks and like feels more like a speeder or a skiff than an actual ship with an interior. And I think LEGO definitely went too small for this set. Maybe had they doubled the price, thrown in all the Knights of Ren, they could have then actually made a much bigger set with an interior that you can put all 6 characters in. Next is General Grievous' Starfighter, and this set is known, I've spoken about it on the channel before, as being one of the most overpriced LEGO Star Wars sets of all time, which it is. But other than that, it is still a decent set. It probably should have come with Cody instead of the Airborne Trooper, as back in 2020, we were starving for a Phase 2 Cody. But the actual ship does look really nice, really sleek. It's just not $80 worth at all. You then have the $170 AT-AT, which I think is by far the best looking rendition of a minifig compatible AT-AT. In saying that, the figure selection is pretty underwhelming here. I think General Veers is the highlight. He looks really great with that molded helmet. Other than that, there's nothing special. $170 is also too high for this one. I think if we got it down to $140, would have been a much easier pill to swallow. And anyway, I'm sure we're going to be getting another remake of this set quite soon, so I wouldn't bother going out to buy it now. And let's just hope the new one isn't $200 or something ridiculous. The next set is the Master Builder Series set, and this is the Mos Eisley Cantina. And I think fundamentally this probably takes the cake as being the best set from this year. It's such an amazing collection of everything you would need from Tatooine, with an insane selection of 21 minifigures, with 9 of them being brand new and exclusive. The set is retiring at the end of the year, and I'm thinking I'm gonna have to go and pick it up at some point. But anyway, this is just an amazing set. I think $400 isn't crazily overpriced when you do consider you're getting that big dewback in the set and all of those minifigures. And I think this set will go down alongside the Ewok Village and Cloud City as being one of those all-time great LEGO Star Wars sets. The Death Star Final Duel is a set that was disliked because of its high price point at release, and I still agree with that. I think $100 is just a bit too much for this set having just shy of 800 pieces. The minifigures are fine, but there's just not much differentiating this set from its 2016 predecessor, just like 3 years prior. And then it does visually get outclassed by the diorama one that we got just last year, which looks a lot more screen accurate and visually appealing. I think the Razor Crest is the second last set from the year, and it's not too bad, it's just not worth $140. And I think the insanely long shelf life for this set, which only retired at the end of last year, just makes a lot of people discount this one. The minifigure selection is okay, I guess. I think we could have used Kuiil or maybe the Mythrol character rather than putting them in the UCS set. The ship is a really nice design though. I think it captures the look of the Razor Crest really well. It's just another fully grey Star Wars ship to add to your collection. The last set on the list is one that I think a lot of people have completely forgotten about, myself included, until I was actually making this list, and this is the Resistance ITS Transport. It's a set based on Galaxy's Edge, which is the Star Wars theme park, which I've never been to because I don't live in the US, so I think a lot of people probably are just confused as to what this set actually is. It does look kind of reminiscent of the Tantive 4 in my opinion, and I do like the really striking blue color scheme, just the minifigures are a bit lackluster. You do get 2 exclusives which look quite nice, but it's just 2 regular minifigures and then like an astromech and a gonk droid for $100, which seems like a bit of a letdown. So that was it for every LEGO Star Wars set released in 2020. So let me know what you think. Do you think this is one of the worst years for LEGO Star Wars ever? Also, please make sure to leave a like and subscribe if you enjoyed the video, as these do take quite a while to make and your support really helps the channel.